is Australia's only true frog. And I was like, but what about this one? And this one? And this one? And this one? It was right here on this rusty old garden cart that I had my first observation of a true frog. Little did I know, the frogs that I've seen before in Australia aren't considered true frogs, which absolutely blew my mind. So I made a reel. I asked you guys if you wanted to know more, and thank you for your support. You said you did. And here it is. The frog that I saw was one I've never even heard of before. It's commonly known as the Australian wood frog, although its scientific name is Papurana daemeli. I hope I got that right. And of course, the first thing I did was I tried to get it identified, and thanks to the good folks on Queensland Frogs Facebook group, I got it identified, and iNaturalist as well. Fun fact, people who study frogs often identify them by call rather than by sight. And so I'm going to play the call for you at the end of this video and introduce you to a fantastic app. And I got straight into researching and trying to discover, and everywhere I went, they said, this is Australia's only true frog. And I was like, but what about this one? And this one? And this one? And this one? I've seen so many frogs in Australia, I couldn't believe that they were telling me now that they weren't true frogs. So what is a true frog? Well, when I did my research, it's so complicated. There's a lot of really technical scientific information, so I had to go simpler. And here's what I discovered. This frog is a true frog because it is in the genus Ranidae. And what Ranidae have is they are terrestrial and aquatic. Makes sense, right? Because they're amphibians. So they go on land and in water. They come from a wide range of habitats. The eggs are typically laid in water and hatch into free-living tadpoles. Now, you might be going, but isn't that all tadpoles? No, we've got some amazing tadpoles in the world. In Australia, there's this really rare frog, the gastric brooding frog. And what they do is they actually brood the tadpoles in their mouths and in their stomachs. And then they spit them back out again. There's also ones that live high in the Amazonian jungle in bromeliads, and there are frogs that only hatch in water that stays on leaves. There's amazing frogs out there. So yes, this group is just about your traditional, we're going to lay our eggs in the water and they're going to be free living. I have to have notes because it's quite complicated. All right, smooth, moist skin, which I thought was pretty common, right? But apparently not. Smooth, moist skin. Strong hind limbs. And if you have a look at this photo of the Australian wood frog, you can see it obviously has a lot of muscle in those quads. I mean, they are impressive legs. Next, we've got webbed toes and a distinctly visible eardrum. There you go. But I would argue there's a lot of frogs that aren't in the true frog family that have that. But anyway, green tree frogs spring to mind. But anyway, there's 600 species of true frog around the world, and they're on every single continent except for Antarctica. Only one species exists in Australia, and that is the Australian wood frog, which is also found in Papua New Guinea. It's only found in the very northern tip of Australia, in far north Queensland, and also over in Northern Territory. They can grow up to 8 centimeters long. One of the defining characteristics is a distinct brown strip from their snout right through to their back. It also has pale brown stripes on the legs. There are only 323 observations on iNaturalist, and I can tell you, in comparison to some of our other frogs, that's not very many at all. For example, the green tree frog, the famous green tree frog, has 7,429 observations. So you can see that's huge difference. So we're looking at like 5%. Have I got my maths right there? If all things like the green tree frog aren't a true frog, where are they from? Well, they're from another frog family called the Hylidae. And the Hylidae are your tree frogs. They're the ones, they have suction pads on their feet so that they can climb really easily and live in trees. Then there's the Australian ground frogs. Myobatrachidea. They're the Australian ground frogs, which are just what they sound like. They're Australian frogs that don't climb and they live on the ground. So one of my favorites of these, the Queensland Frogs Facebook group calls licorice all sorts. And they're called licorice all sorts because even though their patterns are really similar and everything, they come in lots of different colors, shades in that pattern. And they're very cute. They're only that big. As adults, they're only that big. Now the other group, and I've never observed a single one of the other group, which is the Microhylidae. So not Hylidae, but Microhylidae. So there must be small versions of those tree frogs. They're called the narrow-mouthed frogs, and they only exist in the wet tropics and up into Papua New Guinea, in this part of the world anyway. And I can't wait to observe one of those. I will let you know when I do. So that's it. It's a true frog because it fits into that scientific family. It's all about the strong hind limbs and the breeding habitat. And there's something else about the structure of the vertebrae, but to be honest, I tried to research that. I couldn't get my head around it. So I guess that's one for the herpetologists. All right. If you've never been herping, if you've never been out searching for frogs at night, I thoroughly recommend it. I have an eye shine trick that I was taught by Brett Malcolm, who runs the Queensland Frogs Facebook group. And if you would like to know the eye shine trick, please comment down below and I'll make a video on it. And now for the call. This is a weird call. And today I don't have one of my own, so today I'm getting it from the Frog ID app. This is a fantastic app. If you don't have it and you like to go looking at nature or whatever, you should get this app. It's put out by the Australian Museum. You submit calls and not only will they send you back an identification of which frog exactly was making the call, they will also use your data in research. So it's a fantastic opportunity to get into citizen science. So let me play you the call of the Australian wood frog. How's that for a weird call? Sounds like someone laughing. That's it for today. Thank you for watching as always. If you'd like to support the channel so that I can make more videos, please hit that like button, subscribe, go and watch a few more videos. Help me get my watch hours up, because if I can monetize, then I can spend more time on videos. I won't have to have notes because I'll have time to actually learn the lines, and I'll be able to devote a lot more time to bringing you quality videos on this amazing Australian habitat that I live in, which is remnant rainforest in the wet tropics. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.